Marlene Hutchinson, and welcome to Tips for Guitar Playing Success. As many of you know, I've been sharing my guitar playing tips every Thursday for more than 8 years. It's been my way to hopefully help you stay motivated, be inspired, and continue expanding your guitar playing journey. If you're interested in more learning resources like my Thursday Tips blog, my DVDs, books, virtual learning, and more, go to my website, marlenesmusic.com. And for anyone who's listening and feels like you're missing out on all the fun, you can easily join our wonderful world of guitar with my Learn to Play Guitar in a Day program, which you can also find at marlenesmusic.com. Now on to today's tip. Today's tip is Cold Weather Guitar Care 101. Brrr, it's getting chilly, and that means the heater goes on. Though the warmth feels good, the heat dries the air. In fact, you might notice that your skin feels dry and you are perhaps a little thirstier. Your guitar feels this too. I heard a story told by a Taylor Guitars guitar technician, and I wanted to share it with you. They were repairing a guitar that had been damaged due to excessive water exposure. The guitar owner had worried about low humidity levels and was concerned that the wood might split or crack. So the owner decided to take it into the shower, the room where the shower is located, and turned on the hot water to create steam, hoping to add moisture to the guitar. Unfortunately, the steam had a disastrous effect. It was simply too much water in the air for the guitar to handle. It caused the guitar to swell, resulting in the binding coming apart, and the wood blistered in areas. Though the owner was on the right track, and by that I mean having concerns about the humidity levels and wanting to add moisture into the air. But steam was not the way to go. It created way too much water in the air, which the guitar absorbed. What would have been a better game plan for this guitar owner was to improve the humidity levels using humidity systems in the guitar case and/or a humidifier in the room where it was stored out of its case. I'll talk more about that in just a minute. By the way, this story has a happy ending. That guitar was brought back to life first by slowly dehumidifying it in a drying chamber for about a week, and then making the other necessary repairs to bring it back to playability. It's safe to say that the air and environment around your guitar is important to know. In my podcast episode back on July 16th, I talked about temperature and humidity as it relates to a guitar. Back then it was summer, and those weather conditions could have had an effect on your guitar. I wanted your guitar to be safe then, and I want it to be safe as we head into the colder weather. If you remember in that July 16th episode, I talked about the ideal conditions for a guitar: 74 to 76 degrees Fahrenheit and 45 to 55% relative humidity. Always keep those numbers in mind. Fall and winter seasons typically mean colder weather. As I mentioned earlier, that usually means turning on the heat, which dries the air. The heat is literally evaporating the moisture out of the air. A guitar, particularly the wood, feels these dehydrating conditions and will respond accordingly. Over time, you might notice cracks in the wood, seam or binding separation, and more. So what can be done? The answer is really, really simple. All you have to do is know the temperature and humidity level of your guitar's environment and then make adjustments as necessary. The best way to check temperature and relative humidity is to use a sensor called a hygrometer. It will give you both a temperature reading and a humidity percentage reading. They're fairly inexpensive and so easy to use. It's a small device. It fits basically in the palm of your hand. It's placed in the case or near where the guitar is located. And when it's on, you'll see the temperature and, more importantly, the relative humidity reading. By using a hygrometer, you'll know if you need to take action. Obviously, if the reading is in the range of 45 to 55% relative humidity, you're done. Nothing needs to change. If the reading is less than those numbers, like say 30% relative humidity, you'll need to increase the humidity level. There are a couple of ways to do that. You can use an in-guitar case humidity system if you're storing your guitar in its case. And for a guitar that's in a room on a stand, you can use a freestanding room humidifier to maintain the correct levels. Patron program break and reminder. If you'd like to become a patron and support the continuation of this podcast, please go to my website, marlenesmusic.com. In the navigation bar, click on the word podcast and scroll down to Become a Patron. Click that and choose your level. You'll receive some cool thank you gifts and the warm, fuzzy feeling knowing you're helping. Now, I realize not everyone lives where the environment is getting cold. Perhaps you're in a tropical location where there is high humidity. You want to be aware of that too. So again, I can't stress this enough. Your best defense against the conditions is to have a hygrometer sensor. You don't want to be a humidity guesser. Higher than ideal humidity, like you might find in a tropical location, will cause the wood to swell, which creates problems as well, just like in the shower story. For example, if you find your humidity levels are, say, 70%, then the correction is to do the opposite of adding moisture to the air. Instead, you want to dehumidify the air. And there are devices for your case and for a room that can dehumidify or take moisture out of the air. Knowledge is everything, and for us guitarists, humidity knowledge is the key. Okay, I know I've probably said the word humidity about 25 times in this podcast, but in case I haven't stressed it enough, know the humidity levels where your guitar makes its home. It will save you and your guitar from having to experience unnecessary repairs. I hope this episode's tip has helped you to continue expanding your guitar skills and knowledge. If you'd like to learn more, check out the many learning resources available at my website, marlenesmusic.com. Thank you for joining today's podcast, and as I like to say, play on.